Dr. Daniel Kolawole Olukoya was born over 50 years ago to Mr. and Mrs. Olukoya, a retired police officer and a petty trader respectively. Dr. Olukoya had his primary education at St. John's CSE Primary School, Akure, Ondo State, western part of Nigeria, and later moved to Lagos to complete this at St. Jude Primary School, Ebutemeta, and in both institutions he excelled. He proceeded to Methodist Boys High School, Lagos, where he finished with Grade 1 distinction and was the best student of his set. Indeed, he proceeded to the prestigious University of Lagos, UNILAG, where he studied microbiology and came out with first-class degree honors, the first from the department since the university was established in 1962. Not done. After about 2 years of teaching and subsequent employment as a research assistant in the Nigeria Institute of Medical Research, Dr. Olukoya traveled to the United Kingdom under the Commonwealth Scholarship to the University of Reading, where he obtained PhD in molecular genetics, and he was probably the first Nigerian to obtain a PhD in the subject area. Dr. Olukoya, who had his eyes fixed on God's plan for his life, returned to Nigeria Institute of Medical Research, Yaba, Lagos. Dr. Olukoya was the first scientist to establish an indigenous laboratory of molecular biology and biotechnology in Nigeria.
We are majorly into research work. We do DNA extraction process, and we have students coming from the UNILAG School, the Yaba College of Technology. We have students from Martins of University, and also secondary school students do come around on excursion, and we show them around the function of each equipment.
This laboratory has been a part of so many people's success story, but let's hear it from one of the beneficiaries.
We train science students on IT for free, and also we have bench space for researchers, which they come in to carry out their research for free. I'm also a product of Daniel Fola Biotechnology Foundation because I came in as an IT student.
His laboratory was the first to clone genes in Nigeria. One important contribution to the biotechnology and health delivery made by Dr. Olukoya was the invention of the new type of ogi, pap, named Dogik. Dr. D.K. Olukoya has touched lives in various ways.
And how much is done for the youth, not just in Nigeria, beyond Nigeria, the universe. I'll start quickly with football. In 2014, where they were manufacturing alcohol, he became the captain of a football club that played outside of Nigeria, played in Nigeria, and built a house and changed the narrative of his family. I'll tell you the story of a young man that his parents had just left Lagos for Edo State. The parents were, the father was a soldier, that's a military personnel. I'm talking about the young man who today is the vice captain of the Super Eagles of Nigeria, the senior national team of Nigeria, Winfred Idide. We saw him at the military cantonment in Maryland, Ikeja precisely, playing barefooted. He joined MFM, and before you could say Jack Robinson, the story started. Today he plays for Leicester City in England. I will talk about a young man called Stephen Ode, also had played for Nigeria at some point, top scored in the Nigerian league. Today he plays in Switzerland as a striker. I remember that young man was looking for 100,000 naira to pay the parents' rent somewhere in Agege. He started earning salaries, that could take care of his family, and today he plays and the world is talking about him. Let's talk about a wrestler that won a gold at the Commonwealth Games back-to-back, 2014, 2018, and of course, just a few years ago, Odwayo Adekoroye. Dr. Olukoya sponsored everything about our training alongside our coach, Akupurity, competitions. Gio will do that. Then the man of God, Dr. Olukoya, stunned me when he said, this lady cannot be an athlete for life. What can we do? Dr. Olukoya sent this young lady to Canada, to a university in Canada. From Canada to America, where today she's still wrestling. She's a coach athlete as I speak to you this moment. Let's talk about athletics. There was a time that Olukoya had to empower the youth. And of course, for about 4 years, he had what we called the Dr. D.K. Olukoya National Under-18 Athletic Championship. Toby Amusan was part of that. We have the jumper, the Commonwealth bronze, the Olympic bronze medalist. I'm talking about Essie Bruman. She came from that competition. You can ask them, they are alive. And of course, let's talk about basketball, the latest initiative, empowering the girl child. First, he decided to provide an enabling environment, give them a befitting accommodation where these kids have 3 sources of electricity, as it were. So it means that there's no blackout there. Put them on allowances that you could say is much more than some persons who pay salaries. Feed them, clothe them, give them an opportunity to showcase the talent that God has given to these young ladies. And as I speak today, MFM Women Basketball Club are the back-to-back champions of the league in Nigeria. And just this November, they were in Liberia to represent Nigeria in West Africa. And of course, they qualified among the top 8 teams in Africa to play at the FIBA Championship happening in Dakar, Senegal in December. So there's so much to say about Dr. Olukoya. 70 points youth repositioning agenda, and sport is just one out of the 70. I always say that God should bless Nigeria and the world with men like him, and the world will be a better place.
This 70-point agenda pans across sports, academics, research, employment, entertainment, science, and lots more. Let's hear it from this professor of science for this contribution made by Dr. D.K. Olukoya to the University of Lagos.
Chemistry and Material Science, and currently the director of the D.K. Olukoya Central Research and Reference Laboratory. This facility was donated by Dr. D.K. Olukoya and commissioned in June 2014, which is a decade now. Dr. D.K. Olukoya's vision aligned with the vision of the university to provide a platform to drive research. The stakeholders are both internal and external. So in terms of our internal stakeholders, those are our staffs and students, while the external stakeholders include corporate organizations, companies, NGOs who sometimes want to come and validate certain data, other students and staff from other universities. The services in areas of research provided by this facility include air quality and monitoring, analytical testing, material testing, molecular biology and sequencing, to mention a few. This facility has grown to accommodate more than 10 research centers and laboratories. Some of these research centers include the Center for Genomics and Personalized Healthcare, the Artificial Intelligence and Robotics Laboratory, the Fabrication Lab, which is actually a tech hub that have 3D printers. They are into drone technology. So overall, you find that the various centers and labs housed in this DKR facility have continued to assist our users, stakeholders, to be able to generate quality data. The platform has also helped to drive collaboration, create innovations, overall been assisting us to strengthen our research impact both nationally and globally. So what we're saying is that Dr. D.K. Olukoya, our benefactor, planted a seed which has grown today and continues to provide us the platform to drive our research impact. Our students, who are also special beneficiaries of this donation, can today go on to build capacity through this facility and the resources it provides for them to move on to other clients and continue to provide positive, lasting impact globally.
We can't talk about Dr. D.K. Olukoya's impact on this generation without talking about one of his passions, which is music. In order to harness the talents of young men, Dr. D.K. Olukoya decided to create a platform called The Psalmist. a platform that gives songwriters the opportunity to write songs and bring them to life. Let's listen to one of the beneficiaries of this wonderful vision.
And I'm a music producer, I'm a songwriter, and I'm a studio sound engineer. I'd like to talk about a platform called The Psalmist. This is a platform put together by Dr. D.K. Olukoya to ensure that young people who are gifted in music can do something meaningful with their lives. And I can say this platform is one of the biggest umbrella that is doing some creative things in the area of music. As we speak, we have about 60 active members in the Psalmist, and from this we have about 25 people who already have their professional video music recorded, including a full album with 7 songs each, and these are available across various streaming platforms like Spotify, iTunes, and the likes. We have some members of this Psalmist who are already occupied doing music in different countries. We have Tope Kumnadi in UK. We have Emmanuel Jayola in Ireland. We have so many people from the Psalmist who are doing wonderful things. So if we have Dr. Olukoya, 2 of his kind, or 3 or more, I think the world will be a better place.
What is presented here at this moment is just a tip of the iceberg of what Dr. Daniel Kolawole Olukoya has done, does, and still doing for mankind. Time will not permit us to talk about other milestone contributions like the development of world-acclaimed choirs and musicians, giving out local and foreign scholarships to students across the globe, strengthening of higher and lower institutions, welfare services to the poor and underprivileged, financing research projects, and many more. Dr. D.K. Olukoya, a humanitarian, a philanthropist, a selfless giver, above all, a true man of God.